Good evening, everyone. I am so excited that you're joining us today. It is back to DEI book club time, and I had so much fun doing Your Blues Ain't Like Mine by B.B. Moore Campbell. We just had to get another book in before the end of the year. So I really, really do hope that you are going to join us. Cheryl Franklin and I are back to introduce our new book by Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye. Now, many of you have heard of the book. This is a Nobel Prize book. The thing is, I read this book probably 25 years ago, and I will tell you, somehow I did not remember a lot of the key details, probably because of where I was in life back then. Having a little few years behind me now, I really do see this as a wonderful opportunity to dig into what I would call racial autoimmunity, meaning that sometimes there is a self hatred and an internalized oppression that we feel, that we manifest in our lives, not intentionally, but unintentionally. So let's just go on. So, my name is Kennedy Cobbin Richardson, and I started Kengen Consulting in 2018. And we specialize in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We bring an innovative and holistic approach to developing people, teams, and culture in organizations who pursue purpose as well as profit. DEI is not just a good thing to do, but it really is a business imperative. And when you understand that there are organizations and corporations that are able to see 15 times the production and revenue when they have a diverse team, senior staff, and board of directors, it would amaze you all. And it is a reason, the business side is a reason, and it is also a great thing to do. We look at how education is delivered to students. So unless you are learning and changing, then we're not teaching. But we have found a customized way to bring people to 100% allyship. And that is the goal. So what is it that we want? We want people who are in different positions, particularly those who can help people in the workplace to be an ally. So the first step is to acquire the essential skills to have courageous conversations. If we can't talk about it, we can never solve it. Secondly, you want to acknowledge and accept the history and context of injustice in America. Once you really realize the oppression that people have lived under, and this book is a great opportunity to see what it feels like, even as children, then you will really appreciate kind of how it manifests itself in the workplace, in your friendships, and in other places. Thirdly, articulate the lived experiences of marginalized groups. A lot of times people don't have the opportunity to tell their story, but telling their story is a very cathartic way of really getting through a lot of the pain that you might have been through. And understanding that and listening through that is something that's honestly a very privileged position when somebody's going to share with you their pain. They expect either empathy, sympathy, or assistance. And fourth, act as an ally to accelerate DEI wherever you live, work, and play. And that means it's never shut off. So even though the workplace is the ideal place to have these conversations, it also means that when you're on the tennis court, at the mall, at your kids' football game, that you always want to be that ally in place where people can depend on you. I think I think I've said it before, but I really do enjoy this work. I am a consultant for multinational organizations and nonprofits. I've worked in several domains. My favorite happens to be youth development and workforce development. Certainly served in leadership positions alongside really, really great people in Southern California, in Southern Nevada. But my passion really is self-actualization and that people can really become who they want to be. The issue is sometimes oppression, injustice, discrimination prevent people from moving forward. And I hate that. I think that as far as I know, we got one life and I want to see people live it to the best of their ability. And just to be clear on what ally is, it's a person of one social identity group who provides actionable support to members of another group, typically a member of the dominant group forming an alliance with a marginalized individual that is being discriminated against or treated unjustly. Allyship is different from advocating. Advocating is maybe offering a good word, but allyship is actual support to really create change and move somebody from one state to another state. You're more about problem solving than just being on the good side, but allyship really does require actionable support. And now it is time to introduce my homegirl from Youngstown, Ohio. We are both on the West Coast now, but it is amazing. So, an opportunity for us to go through this as two friends just talking about wonderful literature. And let me pass the baton now on to my friend, Cheryl Franklin.
Hi, thank you so much, Kennedy. I appreciate it. My name is Cheryl Franklin, and I'm partnering with Kennedy and Kengen on this book club journey. One thing that Kennedy mentioned about allyship and being able to articulate a marginalized group's experience, book clubs are a wonderful way to do that. So, I'm a United States Navy veteran. And I am also a law of attraction life coach and a chemical engineer. So I have experience in project management, quality and manufacturing, and I've seen a lot of marginalization in my field. And so that has sparked my passion to make sure that, we do have allies and we do have people who may not look like us or have had our experiences, but they can relate and they can partner with us to make things different. And I am seeing those changes every day. I've been instrumental in the development of activities and productive conversation, promoting diversity, equity, inclusion um, within the healthcare industry and both the corporate and private sectors. My passion is contributing to equity and equality and peace by helping people come to the realization that they can be their authentic selves no matter where they're at. So when I go to work, I want to just be Cheryl. I don't want to have to want the bluest eye. So with that, we'll go to this is our kickoff session. So what we're gonna do with the bluest eye is one of my favorite books. I've read this book at least 5 times. Once in a sociology class, and once with another book club, and 3 times on my own. So this will be my second time with the book club. This book is sometimes very difficult to read because there are some heavy things that happen in this book. So what we're going to do, the way Toni Morrison wrote this book, is she divided it by seasons. So it starts off in autumn and it goes into the winter. The next season is winter. So we're going to do the first session with autumn and winter. And then the second session that we do will be spring and summer. And the dates are there on the screen for you to see. So we hope that you will join us for both of those because it's going to be some really in-depth conversation. But if you can only join for one, that's fine too.
I just want to say, guys, I know that we all have so much to do, and it's hard to sit down and take the time to read a book. But sometimes it's important that we do things for ourselves. So I'm just going to say that throughout this next season, I really do hope that many of you take the time for yourselves to get into some really, really great literature. I met a lot of people who really wanted to get through Your Blues Ain't Like Mine, but I know time is short. But we're hoping that through this one, it is not as long, actually, right, Cheryl?
Right. That's what I was going to say. The first 2 sections are only 93 pages, and you have until October 25th. So almost a month. So that's not so bad.
Yeah, so that's
And
25 pages a week. You can.
right. Yeah. And like the last book we did, Your Blues Ain't Like Mine, it was hard to listen to the audio book because they were so different. But that doesn't apply with this book. So even if you want to listen to it on Audible or, some type of streaming device, you can definitely listen to it as well. It's very accurate.
Yep. I also the Audible version is read by Toni Morrison herself.
Yes.
So that was really interesting to listen to. And, it's set in Lorain, Ohio, where we're not from Lorain, but we're from Ohio. And what I honestly felt the vernacular was very Ohio-ish. Like I just love the name Charlie. because that is how every Charlie I know,
I had an uncle named Charlie.
and I have a man in my life named Charlie that I call Uncle Charlie. In fact, you would know my Uncle Charlie. C. Staples, Charlie Staples,
Yes, I know your Uncle Charlie.
Charlie. And it's Cholly. No one
Yes,
knows Charlie.
that's
Wow.
right. So when you're reading it, you kind of, for us anyway, you feel at home a little bit.
I did. And I kind of got halfway through it before I think she mentioned it again that they were in Lorain, which is where Toni Morrison's from.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why it all sounds so familiar. And I was like, I told my mom, I'm like, some of the vernacular reminds me of you and your friend. She was like, like,
What
no,
you
it doesn't.
trying
She said, no, it doesn't.
to say? It doesn't look the same in the book as it sounds. So I'm sure she was like, no, it does not.
Right. But I just mean, I don't know. It was just not really her because she's actually she speaks
Polished.
really, but the kickback conversation with some cards on the table, the
Yeah.
way they were talking about people, it was homey to me. Sorry. So it was
Definitely.
fun.
I can relate. So this is just a little brief. Actually, it's what's written, like the forward. As Kennedy stated, this is Toni Morrison's first novel, and it's set in her hometown of Lorain, Ohio. It tells a story of a little girl named Pecola Breedlove. She's 11 years old. She's a Black girl, and she's praying that her eyes turn blue so that she will be beautiful and beloved, like the rest of the blonde, blue-eyed children in America. It takes place in the autumn of 1941, so it's going to go through a whole year. In that year, the marigolds in the Breedlove's garden do not bloom, and that's very there's symbolism in that. That's something that we will discuss when we talk about the Breedloves and why the marigolds didn't bloom that year. So Pecola's life does change in very painful and devastating ways. Um, this book, it is very vivid, and the funny thing is that they've tried to ban this book in schools because of some of the topics that are in the book, but they're very real topics. There are things that happen. There are things that we need to discuss. And I feel that this book is a lovely way to develop allyship. And I want to have some very real, raw conversations about the events in this book. And I want us to be able to be open and honest and raw. Just let's just get it all out and discuss it. I also would like to show a little video of an interview with Toni Morrison after we finished and we've talked about our viewpoints. I want to show what her viewpoints were when she was writing the book. So I want to look forward to that. I want you guys to look forward to that at the end of the novel, at the end of the discussions. So this novel covers poverty, colorism, social injustice, and beauty. But I felt like I needed to put that healing in the middle because there is some healing that goes on there. And I think that by discussing these topics through this book, we will have some healing as well. So that's my goal. And we're going to work towards allyship by reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. So happy reading. Our first session again will be October 25th, 2022, when we will cover Autumn and Winter, which takes us to page 73. Did I say 73? 93. 93. And then we'll wrap it up with session 2 on December 6th, which covers spring and summer. And that takes us to page 206. So very short book, but very heavy book, and something that's definitely to be discussed.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. We're smiling now, but we're gonna have some moments with this book.
Yeah. We are. So, those of you who are not part of a book club, we want you to consider Kengen DI Book Club as our home. We really did have so much fun with our last book that we will do it, as many times as possible. And so we look forward to getting with you again in the spring, but hopefully you are able to read the book. I want you to be in touch as you read the book. And when we come back in October, I'd love to bring you on the live as we did last time to talk about what you think about it and give people your point of view, and we can really have a robust discussion. So thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, all of you. Anything else you want to add, Cheryl?
Yes, I will add. So the first 5 people that sign up that want a book, if you email me, I will send you the book.
Oh, well, isn't that sweet? You want them to, how do you want to say your email?
Yes, it's, let's see, do we want me to put it in the chat?
I don't think they'll get that, but you can just say it.
Or you can just reach out on LinkedIn. I'm
Okay.
Cheryl Franklin. I can have Kennedy tag me. And if you reach out to me on LinkedIn and let me know that you're interested and that you will be attending the first 5, I'll send you a book.
All right. And if you can't find her, you can just send me a message, and I will make sure your message gets to her as well. Okay. Well, isn't that sweet of you? Give away books.
This is a good book. This is a good book.
It is. It is. All right, guys. Well, you have no excuse not to read the book. Get a free book if you want. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon on the live. Read the book, please, please, please. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.